All right. So, everybody, we are back again with Caroline McDermott, and she's just going to share, if you would, Caroline, more specifically on what the goal of Team St. Paul is and how you are supporting servicemen and women now, and maybe ways that you are planning in the future, whatever your goals are.
Yeah, of course. So really, Team St. Paul has been around for like just a couple years. So a lot of it is also just learning what we can do as well. But the main goal is kind of like three pillars. What is to support chaplains, to provide accompaniment, and to teach and re-engage the faith. So those are like the broad topics of what Team St. Paul does. And of course, you have those topics and then you're actually on the ground and it's going to look seemingly differently in how you apply it. Again, there's two locations, one in California, it's an Air Force base, and then here in Kentucky, it's an Army post. That's where I am. And so the whole mission of Team St. Paul is really to build authentic Christ-centered relationships with people so they can in turn go out and be strong in their faith and also help lead others. So that kind of like that spiritual multiplication theory. It's also oftenly, we call it ministry of presence. So often, one example is we go to daily mass on post. So it's a part of our, commitment is daily mass. So we go to mass on post daily, and I remember running into two guys a couple months later who just went up to us, or just in conversation we were talking to, how they were just inspired by our daily commitment. So much that they're like, if these two people who've come here in a totally new environment for them, military culture it's a culture shock, I will say.
Okay.
They can go to mass on post daily and do all this stuff. It kind of just pushed them a little bit, I could do it too. And almost like kind of that like good competition of like, you're running with your partner and you're trying to do the finish line and you're pushing each other towards the finish line. So often that happens, we're a ministry of presence where we are just there. And because of that, people notice us and they're like, oh, interesting. And then they come and ask like, oh, who are you? Where are you working for? Or like, sometimes like, are you military spouse? Or are you civilian? I'm like, no, actually I'm just a young adult, helping volunteer at the Catholic chapel on post. And we're here to support young adults in their community life. So it's been really beautiful. And some of the, and in that, some of the programs that we've kind of started programs, it's more of events that we planned, spiritual and social. So it are like chapel hours that we've been able to open up the chapel on post outside of the normal hours that you can go to, which has enabled soldiers to come and pray or just to be in peace and quiet. Honestly, they just need that so much. Another thing we do is like on the fourth Sunday, we have young adult fellowship. So we'll try to bring some young adults in to help with like lecturing or bringing up the gifts or just help welcome people into the church, like greeting people at the door. And then we'll just have a meal afterwards in the what's called the annex. It's just off to the side. And so we'll just have food and chat, and it's like just some good camaraderie, and it's really fun. Another thing
Do you all make the food? Do you all make a dinner, or who makes the dinner?
So actually, we've been really fortunate. We work with the chapel, and to accommodate some funds where we can do like a purchase order, and are able to like help bring food in. So like we'll either cater food.
Nice.
Sometimes we've had it at our house, but not often. We try to do it at the chapel because it has more space. And so yeah, so that's been really good. The staff here is very, very accommodating, and so they're really, really awesome. And the chaplains are amazing. They're just hilarious, and they're such great people. Another thing that we've like really done, and this has also helped to foster discipleship, is just meeting with people. So I'm here with a teammate of mine, and we do 2-on-1s. Meeting's very official. Like so much of this ministry is unofficial. Not in like a bad sense, but more of like, hey, we're grabbing lunch. You want to go grab lunch? So it's intentional, but it's not like, oh, we're sit down and meeting and talking about this. But more like it's called the PX. You have your foods there. You have like some Chinese places and like Mediterranean. It's like just a food court.
Yes.
We've had so many conversations there with some soldiers, and we just like, hey, how are you doing? where are you from? What's your job here in the military? And just be a human being to them. That's really,
Yes.
really all that is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wonderful. Okay. I love that. So, and you mentioned when we were off camera that at the holidays too, because a lot of these men and women are not able to see their families on the holidays, right? So you had soldiers in at Easter. Is that what you were saying?
so, oh yes. So, I mean, we haven't experienced Christmas yet. We'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
But for Easter, some people are able to go back home. Um, each person has their like different ways of getting leave. I don't understand it fully, so I just talk to them
Yes.
and find out about it. But for Easter, there was a group of people here, and we're like, we'll throw an Easter Sunday dinner. So we had dinner, we opened up our house, we invited young adults that we knew. We actually just invited someone who just came back from a deployment, non-combat deployment. Um, and he came back and that's the guy who was like, what a beautiful Catholic community to come back to. I was like, I
Oh,
haven't envisioned it any better. And so he was just super grateful to just go somewhere that wasn't a military base and talk to
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Um, if I could boil it down to of what this ministry and what we do and the programs, it's just being a person, because I underestimated so much how the simple thing of just sharing a meal or going out and like playing pool or going down and like sometimes we go to Nashville because we're close to Nashville, pray vespers with like the sisters we've done often, or just like inviting people over for game night or like hosting for dinner. And it's just getting them out of their work environment and just a way to decompress. And,
Yes.
you know, we are a Catholic ministry, but also we want to help those who are not Catholic or maybe fallen away Catholic. And we've encountered a couple who have come and are just enthralled by the community. They love the community and they're just super excited to be around us.
That's beautiful. Well, gosh, thank you so much. So, when we come back for our last interview question, if we could talk about how somebody that might be inspired by what you're saying want to also get involved when if they're of the age or when they're of the age to be able
Sure.
to do what you're doing, or how people can support Team St. Paul and what you are doing, and specifically support you and also support the organization as a whole, because this is you are like a missionary down there, so you are relying on the help of others too, as if I'm understanding correctly. So we'll be back, everybody. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you so much.